Brooklyn, baby. But Queens get the money. Queens get the money. New York. No Diddy. No Diddy.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Lil Rod claimed some of the biggest names in the recording industry sponsored these parties, with workers and underage girls.
50 Cent is really going all out to stir things up with Diddy. It's like he's leading this charge against the bad boy mogul, and the internet can't get enough of it. 50's out here spilling tea that nobody even knew was brewing. Case in point, there's this supposed text message exchange floating around, and 50's hinting that he's about to drop it like it's hot for everyone to see. Whether he's just messing around or dead serious, people are totally hooked. In one of his recent Instagram posts, 50 threw shade at Diddy with a video captioned, "Yo, this is fun to me. I had to share this. It made me laugh." The clip allegedly shows Diddy sliding into 50's DMs, starting off with a cringy, "Hello, Daddy," followed by a late-night invite for a drink. But when 50 points out the ungodly hour, Diddy persists with the invitation, only to get dissed for his association with Ciroc, the vodka brand he's been repping forever. Then it gets even juicier. Diddy promises a shopping spree the next day, trying to lure the person over, but they ain't having it. They're all like, "I'm good with my own cash." And just when Diddy's desperate enough to throw in a music video offer, the reply is savage. "LOL, last time you had a hit, I was in high school. I'm good." And to top it off, they send over a meme of 50 Cent from Entourage, speeding away in his car and laughing his head off. Anyway, trolling or not, some are still getting a good laugh out of it, while others are starting to feel like the joke's getting a bit old and tired. But even if people are rolling their eyes, they'd still take 50's jabs over straight-up fake news any day. Speaking of which, 50 recently stirred up quite the controversy with a social media post that had folks questioning if he was crossing the line. He shared this news report claiming Diddy was supposedly in a sex relationship with actor Reginald VelJohnson. Yeah, you heard that right. Apparently, some comedian spilled the beans on a podcast, alleging he saw some wild stuff go down at one of Puffy's parties.
I'm just hearing like, like, I'm like, oh, somebody wearing this out on Crip. So I go busting the door. I look up, I see Carl's window. So I'm like, oh, 6-0, like, this is crazy.
But despite 50 Cent keeping up his trolling spree on Diddy, which doesn't seem like he's gonna let up anytime soon, even if Diddy ends up in the slammer, 50's probably still gonna keep the jokes rolling. There's this video making the rounds that's seriously grossing people out. Apparently, there's a pretty scandalous footage from Diddy's security cameras. According to court documents filed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a former employee of Diddy, it's claimed that Diddy had been secretly recording his guests at his properties in Los Angeles and Star Island. And we're not just talking about your average party snapshots. Apparently, these cameras caught some seriously compromising moments involving celebs, athletes, politicians, you name it. Jones claimed in the suit that these parties were sponsored by major players in the recording industry, giving them access to sex and underage girls. The civil complaint asserted,
Lil Rod claimed some of the biggest names in the recording industry sponsored these parties, workers and underage girls.
Mr. Combs had hidden cameras in every room of his home, has recordings of several celebrities, artists, music label executives, and athletes engaging in illegal activity. Mr. Combs possesses compromising footage of every person who has attended his freak-off parties and his house parties. The producer further alleges that Diddy has salacious tapes of Hollywood's biggest names, record CEOs, and politicians doing and cavorting with and As far as he knew, the parties were a business model that gave upcoming artists a chance to climb up the career ladder by giving them access to music executives. Jones also shared that beyond sponsoring these parties, music executives had the habit of handing the Bad Boy Records founder large wads of cash. Even his ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, spilled the beans, saying it's not just celebs, there are politicians, preachers, you name it, all potentially on Diddy's blackmail list.
I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes. in there.
And then there's this bizarre video circulating around again, featuring a guy who allegedly fired shots at one of Donald Trump's Florida properties a while back. In his interviews with law enforcement, he made some pretty wild accusations, claiming he was a sex slave for none other than Sean Diddy Combs. Now, with federal investigators raiding Diddy's homes and the possibility of an arrest or indictment looming over him for alleged involvement in a SEXTFK operation, those seemingly outlandish claims don't sound so far-fetched anymore.
I was like a slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all. All right.
The guy even went as far as suggesting that Diddy's success is tied to some secretive society called the Boule, which supposedly has ties to the Illuminati. According to him, that's why Diddy's always in the spotlight and seems to land every deal in sight.
He Diddy, whatever you call himself, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati, okay? And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land on the contract.
He even claimed that Diddy directed him in sex encounters with Cassie, Diddy's former girlfriend, while Diddy got off on it.
I had with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters.
Now, you can bet there's a lot of scrambling happening in Hollywood right now. Word is, the feds already got their hands on those incriminating videos, so it's only a matter of time before more names start popping up. And we've already seen a few sneak peeks with the names that spilled out since Cassie's lawsuit hit the scene. Take Jay-Z, for example. Even though he hasn't been mentioned in any lawsuit or scandal, there's this vibe in the air like he might be next in line for some unwanted attention after Diddy.
Is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this.
Word on the street is that Jay-Z's been sweating bullets ever since the feds started poking around Diddy's business. Apparently, they've been tight buds for ages, and they haven't exactly kept their friendship under wraps. But according to those in the know, their bond runs deeper than just being music industry big shots. Allegedly, they've been connecting over some seriously shady stuff, particularly involving violence against women. It's a dark side of their friendship that's been lurking in the shadows for years, and they've somehow managed to dodge any real consequences. Or at least that's what everyone thought. See, as it turns out, the feds have been looking at them for long, and they have been looking at them hard for a very long time. If there's one thing about the feds, they never make their moves until they've got their facts right, and they have managed to build an airtight case against their suspects with no wriggle room. It often takes months or years for the feds to build their case, but once they arrest someone and bring charges against them, then it's over. They have a conviction rate of more than 95%, and that should tell you all that the feds don't play when they make a move on a suspect. And in Diddy's case, the feds have been looking at him for at least 11 years now, because back in 2013, we found out they've been questioning people about Diddy's alleged interest in young boys. A court document from a case in 2013 noted that during a debriefing session with federal investigators, James Rosemond, the music manager turned was reportedly questioned about the sex preferences of entertainers, including whether Sean Diddy Combs was having sex relationships with underage boys, according to a U.S. District Court filing. A prosecutor then asked about entertainers' EX preferences, including, but not only, Sean Combs having sex relationships with underage boys. So, if they have been looking at Diddy for that long, then best believe they've been looking at Jay-Z for that long as well. And it did not just start with because of Cassie's lawsuit. Interestingly, the knowledge of Jay-Z going down with Diddy is not just fan speculations, because people with reliable intel have claimed there is allegedly also an open investigation of Jay-Z by the feds. And as you all have probably heard, Diddy got busted by Homeland Security a couple weeks ago, which tells us the investigation into Diddy is at its peak. And supposedly so is Jay-Z. And you just know 50 couldn't resist adding his 2 cents. After all, he feels the same way about the two of them. After Diddy's homes were raided by Homeland Security, 50 hopped on social media and asked where Jay has been. In one post, 50 shared an image of Jay's face on the side of a milk carton with missing written above the photo, and another picture of the Brooklyn rap legend on a red carpet waving at the cameras. Anybody seen Jay LOL? Puff said the man ain't answering his phone. LOL, 50 wrote in the first post. In the second, 50 said, here is Jay-Z last reported seen waving at Puffy Jet. LOL. In Lil Rod's lawsuit, he also exposed Meek Mill and Usher as one of the people that often came to these freak-offs. Rodney didn't explicitly mention Meek Mill and Usher's names in the lawsuit like he did with everybody else, but he gave some descriptions that had very specific details that pretty much made everybody know who he was talking about. Like he described Meek as a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, and described Usher as a male R&B singer who performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency.
Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had engaged in intercourse with a rapper. 5, that's redacted. Look, 5, he's a rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. And then the next person, R&B singer. 6, redacted. Look, he performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. Usher!
Now, I'm sure you all know Meek is definitely a rapper from Philadelphia who dated Nicki from 2015 to 2017. Usher also just had a very successful Vegas residency, which reportedly grossed over $100 million, and he did in fact perform at the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago. Anyway, going back to Rodney's lawsuit, he claimed that he witnessed Usher and Diddy hooking up several times and making out with the girls that Young Miami and Justin would bring for him. Rodney recalled the time where they were partying on Diddy's yacht, and he saw both Meek and Usher messing with several girls. Now, when this news hit, Meek went into overdrive on social media, firing off tweets left and right in a frantic attempt to clear his name. But let's just say the online community wasn't exactly buying what he was selling. He also got into a huge Twitter feud with DJ Academics, who was only reporting on the news. Like, imagine attacking somebody who's just doing his job. One of his tweets said, "I'm from Philly. I don't do coke or freak Molly. Nobody won't even offer me coke because I'm that heavy. No man or what would ever approach me about gay activity, and the whole place don't get flipped. Woke up seeing this on every blog like they know I'm coming lol." Things quieted down for a bit, with folks realizing that Meek seemed to be on the edge of a mental breakdown, and nobody wanted to push him further. That is, until Diddy's ex-bodyguard dropped a bombshell, an audio clip allegedly featuring Meek and Diddy. The shockwaves were palpable. I mean, the voices on that recording, pretty darn close to Meek and Diddy. And the content? Let's just say it wasn't easy listening. Meek's screams, reportedly in serious distress, sent shivers down the spine of anyone who heard it. Trigger warning, this audio is very disturbing and very sensitive. Now, the ex-bodyguard in question who recorded and leaked the audio made an entire video narrating how it came out. He said it happened during one of Diddy's freak-offs, and he decided to lean by the door to record what he was hearing because he was shocked to see Meek allowing Diddy to pound him like this. He said Diddy intentionally spiked everybody's drinks at that party so they would be too drunk and too high to even know what's going on. But he didn't drink, and that's why he was sober enough to witness what he and Meek were doing.
Like, all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the out. I don't drink. Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the was going on, but I just heard slapping against cheeks.
I mean, do you all remember that video circulating where Meek was chilling in the pool, looking a bit, well, uncomfortable, while Diddy hovered nearby, calling him daddy and talking about Meek putting in work? Yeah, that one. It's hard to forget. Some folks are connecting the dots, suggesting it might have been filmed right after whatever went down between Meek and Diddy in that bedroom.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
And to make matters even Meek was caught following a page on Twitter that exclusively posts videos of black men hounding each other. Maybe he was trying to learn some new positions for Diddy. Who knows? But as soon as people caught him, he immediately unfollowed the page. And if that's not enough to raise eyebrows, there's more. An old song of Meek's surfaced online recently, and the lyrics? Let's just say they paint a pretty vivid picture. In the track, Meek talks about chasing his Hollywood dreams, but there's this whole section where he seems to confess to getting involved with Diddy in some not-so-savory ways to make it big. And then he's asking for forgiveness for his actions.
I hope they forgive me for what I did with Diddy. Dream chasers. I hope they forgive me for what I did with Diddy.
Next up is Young Miami, aka Caresha Romeka Brownlee, allegedly transported a called Tucci across state lines for Diddy. Apparently, this Tucci stuff is some kind of pink concoction mixing ecstasy and Jones also alleges that Young Miami was part of a group of women who were supposedly paid a monthly fee to work as Diddy's SEX workers. And as if that wasn't enough drama, Jones throws in another bombshell, claiming that Young Miami's cousin, referred to as Jane Doe 1, allegedly SA'd him back in 2022. She allegedly into the bathroom and began Jones on Thanksgiving Day. But the drama didn't end there. Recently, she got served with court papers related to Diddy's trademark infringement lawsuit while partying at a nightclub. A person claiming to have served the papers to the City Girls rapper in Houston recorded the moment he did so. It's a whole mess involving Charlie C., who's suing Diddy over the use of the phrase "act bad" in his song title and merchandise. C claims Diddy ignored his trademark and breached a contract, seeking a hefty $10 million in damages. According to C, he filed for the trademark back back in 2021, and it's live and registered. He alleges that Diddy's team brushed off his concerns about the infringement, even though he reached out to them multiple times. Adding to the drama, C claims there was some shady stuff going on because he was behind bars at the time for a related offense, but he's since been released. It's all pretty messy, especially considering Young Miami and her City Girls partner JT featured on Diddy's Act Bad. And now she's been roped into the legal battle too. Understandably, she wasn't too thrilled about being served in public, and she made sure everyone knew it when she went on a Twitter rant to share her frustrations. She said, "I'm so tired of the internet and people effing with me every day. Trying to serve me some paper over merch that I'm not selling is lame. Like everybody want to go viral so bad, let's go viral, I'm tired. Like take y'all a TF on." She added, "Over some merch I don't sell," before responding to somebody who doubted her story. H, shut the F up. That's y'all problem. Y'all always think somebody gotta lie, goofy B. Daphne Joy, who happens to be 50's ex and the mother of his child, also got dragged into the drama. Lil Rod's lawsuit against Diddy named Daphne as one of Combs' alleged SEX workers, but Daphne wasn't having any of it. She hit back hard, taking to Instagram to shut down the rumors and accusations. In a no-nonsense statement, she called out Lil Rod's lawsuit as a bunch of lies and vowed to fight back. And she's not messing around. She's got her legal team ready to take action against both Lil Rod and his attorney. "I am deeply hurt by the lies in Rodney Jones' lawsuit. The claim that I am a SEX worker is 100% false and character assassination," she said. "I am retaining an attorney to explore all legal remedies against both Rodney and his attorney." Of course, 50 Cent couldn't resist chiming in. He took to Twitter and stirred the pot even more by posting a pic of Daphne and Diddy, throwing some serious shade her way. He says, "You moved a mile away in hopes of having another baby with me, but I was busy. So you moved back and then you started receiving money from Brother Love. Now here we are, little SEX worker." But Joy wasn't about to let that slide. She came back swinging on Instagram saying, "Curtis James Jackson, everything is a joke to you until our safety is compromised, which is happening now. You're wreaking real havoc, frenzy, and chaos into other people's lives. How would you feel if Sire was the one in handcuffs? For nothing. We moved to New York to give you the opportunity to be a father to your son, and you saw him 10 times out of the 2 years that we lived 1 mile away from you. I am tired of upholding and protecting an image to our son that you have never heard." She would continue saying, "Let's put the real focus on your true evil actions of our wording and physically A-ing me. You are no longer my oppressor, and my God will handle you from this point on. You have permanently damaged the last hope I had for you as a father to preserve our family with these last and final false claims made against me. You have broken our hearts for the last and final time." But despite her heartfelt words, it's like nobody's really listening. Instead, people are dragging Daphne left and right, not buying her side of the story at all. One user sad, "So she was fighting for her child to be with his father, but then claims he R-worded her? What human would fight to have their child around a R? Let's be real." Another user says, "He R-worded you, but you moved you and your son to live 1 mile away from him? Yeah, whatever." And 50 Cent? Well, he's not backing down either. His rep came out with a statement, slamming Daphne's allegations as false and baseless. According to them, it's all just a reaction to 50 seeking sole custody of their son, Sire. They're making it crystal clear that Sire's safety is their top priority, and they're not messing around when it comes to protecting him. The disturbing allegations in the sworn pleadings recently filed in a court case related to Daphne Joy, the mother of my 12-year-old child, has required me to take all necessary legal actions to protect my son, Sire. The most recent false and baseless accusations by Daphne Joy are clearly in response to my decision to seek sole custody of my son. My son's Sire is my main priority, and keeping him in a safe environment is my only focus at this time. There's Stevie J. Jones alleges that Grammy winner Stevie J, Combs' longtime collaborator, recruited SEX workers and participated in Combs' freak-offs in his amended complaint filed in the U.S. District Court in the Southern District of New York, though he does not name Stevie J as a defendant. Jones accuses Combs of instructing Stevie J to teach him the type of SEX workers to solicit and way to solicit them. Jones also accuses Stevie J of sending threatening messages when Jones publicly asked Combs to pay him for his work on Combs' The Love album. The complaint also says that Combs used his connection to Stevie J, Jones' idol, to pressure Jones into SEX. Allegedly, Diddy even showed Jones footage that he claimed was Stevie J getting cozy with another man. But it turns out those screenshots weren't exactly what they seemed. Adult film star Knockout stepped up on Twitter, straight up saying, "It's me," throwing a wrench in the whole thing. And Stevie J isn't staying silent either. He's got his lawyer in the game ready to handle this mess. As time rolls on, it's pretty clear more names are going to surface. And you can bet that 50 Cent will be right there, ready to drag them. them. But we want to hear from you guys. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next video.